People always say the best time of year is Christmas or New Year's, a time for new beginnings, for celebration, for being with family. And while I love all of that, there's something about this time of year that feels even more sacred to me. Fall isn't just a season, it's a period of time for reflection, a pause between what was and what's about to be. It's the harvest of all the quiet work, all the lessons, all the growth that's happened this year. It's a time to listen to nature slow down, to commune with change, with stillness, with endings that make way for something new. And of course, it's the perfect time to curl up with something a little spooky. Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a mini weekend reading vlog. I haven't really recorded myself just enjoying, just sitting down in the moment reading a book, and I wanted to do that. I started this vlog off yesterday, Saturday. I took the girls to a local theme park with some friends of mine, family of mine, and we just had a really good time. I'll insert some of those moments here.
We are now departing.
Say hi, much. He.
Welcome aboard the Busch Gardens Courtesy Train. For your safety, please remain seated at all times.
You did a very good job.
Had a really great time, and I'm so thankful for the experience. I wasn't sure how I was gonna do it, but I did it. You know, sometimes you just gotta make a way to get up and get out your house and go have a good time somewhere, you know. So I'm glad I was able to do that. It's almost noon Sunday, and I've just been puttering around this morning, talking to mom, and I'm also babysitting. My infant nephew is asleep right now, so you might hear him, like, you know, do his little baby grunts in the background. I wanted to try to get started a little bit with some reading before he wakes up. And he's not too much of a handful. He just really likes to be, like, cuddled and held and, like, feel body warmth and hear a heartbeat. But right now I have him, like, all cozied up in a little plush car that he was gifted. So he should be fine until he gets hungry. So I'm going to read the synopsis for the books that I picked up. I don't want to sugarcoat some of these spooky reads. So let's get into it. Los Angeles social media influencer Elle Martin seems to have a picture perfect life. But what Elle wants more than anything is to find something real to make her heart race in a way it hasn't in years. She doesn't expect that feeling to come from capturing footage of an unidentified flying thing, much less from the charming man in black who keeps following her around. Agent Carter Brody is trying his best to keep the private intelligence sector afloat by dragging their hopelessly out of the date office into this century, even though what he really wants to do is follow in his father's footsteps by identifying and hiding extraterrestrial sightings. He gets his chance after being assigned to Elle's case and is stopped in his tracks not only by her ingenuity and confidence, but also by an unnerving coincidence. Her sighting looks eerily like what Carter himself saw right before a family tragedy. The deeper Elle and Carter fall into the mystery, the harder it is for them to ignore their growing chemistry as their own alien feelings become dangerously terrestrial. This is supposed to be a romantic comedy. And I just literally said in my last upload, I don't really read rom-coms, but it mentioned aliens, it mentioned romance, and I was like, who am I to ignore this? I have to pick it up. I waited over a week for this book and one other one to come into my local library. And when I went to go pick it up, one of the librarians was like, oh, I was wondering who was coming to get this one and the other one. And I was like, me, child, me. I have been waiting for this for months now. And it is Never Whistle at Night. It is a collection, an anthology of dark fiction based on indigenous lore. So it says, many indigenous people believe that one should never whistle at night. It can cause evil spirits to appear and even follow you home. These wholly original and shivering tales introduce readers to ghosts, curses, hauntings, monstrous creatures, complex family legacies, desperate deeds, and chilling acts of revenge. Introduced and contextualized by best-selling author Stephen Graham Jones, these stories are a celebration of indigenous peoples' survival and imagination, and a glorious reveling in all the things an ill-advised whistle might summon. It is so crazy, and I don't know, sometimes your phone listening to you. Okay. Last week I was scrolling through TikTok, and I don't know how, because I wasn't looking it up, like nothing related, but I started to get videos on my TikTok feed about people recording their experiences or recording hearing things out in the Appalachian mountains, or people who live in that area. And I was like, whoa, how timely are these videos, because I am waiting to get this book into the library, to pick it up from the library. And I believe it's real. I don't know about y'all, but there are things out there that we are not on a vibration, or we are not tapped in enough to see, but we can feel them, we can hear them, and sometimes we can see them. And I'll see if I can find one of the videos and post it. But there was one I saw, and I was so creeped out a little bit that I didn't even watch the whole thing. But there was one video where the person was recording. They had like turned off their lights or whatever, and they had their camera pointed out into like the woods by their house, and you see this two glowing, it looked like eyes, this figure standing back, and its eyes just looking at the house. Like, I'm tearing up thinking about it. Like, how disturbing. And even growing up where I did in Georgia, okay, we got some wooded areas. We got some, we got the vibes, okay, in Georgia. And I remember growing up and my mom telling me, like, hey, don't do this, don't do that. And hearing some of these people on these videos say the same thing, I'm like, whoa. But for real though, don't whistle at night. Don't whistle at night. So I'm excited. And the librarian that I was talking to, she said that she started this one and the other one, and I'm gonna share with y'all. And she said these stories are really good. So this is gonna be a vibe. I don't even know if I should be reading this at night by myself, but we gonna see. We gonna see. Look, all I need is just to burn some sage and keep it moving. All right, the next one has a very interesting title, and it is Someone You Can Build a Nest In. So I feel like I'm going to butcher this character's name. Shi Shin has made a mistake fatal to all monsters. She's fallen in love. Shi Shin is a shapeshifter who happily resides as an amorphous lump in the swamp of a ruined manor. When her rest is interrupted by impolite monster hunters, she constructs a body fit for devouring by reabsorbing the remains of past meals. A metal chain for a backbone, borrowed bones for limbs, and a bear trap for an extra mouth. After one incident goes badly, Shi Shin's nursed back to health by Homily. Is it Homily? I think it's Homily. A warm-hearted human who has mistaken Shi Shin for a fellow human. Homily would make an excellent co-parent, an ideal place to lay Shi Shin's eggs so their young could devour Homily from the inside out. That don't sound like any type of relationship that anybody should want to be in. But as they grow close, she realizes humans don't think about love that way. Shi Shin is about to confess her identity when Homily reveals that she's hunting a shape-shifting monster who supposedly cursed her family. Eating her girlfriend isn't an option. Shi Shin didn't curse anyone, but to give herself and Homily a chance at happiness, she must discover what Homily's twisted family thinks she did. And the bigger challenge remains: surviving her toxic in-laws long enough to learn to build a life with, rather than in, the love of her life. This sounds like it's gonna be good. I love the cover that this next one is giving. It is called The Possession of Alba Díaz. In 1765, plague sweeps through Zacatecas. Alba flees with her wealthy merchant parents and fiancé Carlos to his family's isolated mine for refuge. Alba begins suffering from strange hallucinations, sleepwalking, and violent convulsions. She senses something cold lurking beneath her skin, something angry, something wrong. Elias, hunted by a troubled past, came to the new world to make his fortune and escape his family's legacy of greed. Alba, as his cousin's betrothed, is none of his business, which is, of course, why he can't help but notice the growing tension between them every time she enters the room, and why he notices her deteriorate when the demon's thirst for blood gets stronger. In the fight for her life, Alba and Elias become entangled with the occult, the church, long-kept secrets, and each other, not knowing that one of these things will spell their doom. One night, Jess, a struggling actress, finds a 5-year-old runaway hiding in the bushes outside of her apartment. After a violent, bloody encounter with the boy's father, she and the boy find themselves running for their lives. As they attempt to evade the boy's increasingly desperate father, horrifying incidents of butchery follows them. At first, Jess thinks she understands what they're up against, but she's about to learn that there's more to these surreal and grisly events than she could have ever imagined, and that when the wolf finally comes home, no one will be spared. Like I said in my video a couple months ago where I brought up this book, I can't tell, and I love that. Like, leave me with a little bit of uncertainty. I can't tell, is the father the problem? Is he the wolf? Is the wolf metaphorical? Is the wolf a real wolf? Like, there's so much to find out, and I'm excited to do so. Alrighty, to get started on what I will be starting today, I almost want to read the books from what seems least scary to scariest. I definitely think Love at First Sighting would be the initial read. Someone You Can Build a Nest In, second. Never Whistle at Night. Maybe The Possession of Alba Díaz, because this one has, I'm thinking a touch of romance, a touch of love, because Alba has attracted the attention of her fiance's cousin, Elias. So maybe this one, third. Never Whistle at Night, and then When the Wolf Comes Home. So I'm going to get started with Love at First Sighting, and also check on my nephew because I think he is hungry.
next day.
It is a whole day later, pretty much. This is me Monday afternoon giving you guys a reading update for this mini vlog. I didn't record as much because my little sweet yam, my little sweet potato of a nephew really needed attention, and I didn't realize up until trying to do this and yesterday that I haven't tried to read while also babysitting since he's gotten here. But to update y'all on how far I've gotten, so I have gotten halfway through. There are about like 30-ish, 32-ish chapters in here. This is really cute, and I looked and the author has like a series of these rom-com, supernatural, high strangeness romance reads. So I'm definitely going to check out some more of hers as well. Actually, in the back she has a sneak peek for another one. Entities to Lovers is the next one. So I love this couple. They are so like naturally written. I can see this event happening to a set of people in real life, and them just meshing together really well, not only romantically but also like they really support each other. So L Martin is the L is actually short for Ariel, and she's the social media influencer. She, up until this event of seeing this UFO, she's been leading this very superficial life, a very curated, a very brand conscious life. And she doesn't really have people around her that are friends, that are supportive, people she can trust. So seeing and experiencing what she has with this UFO was a very authentic experience, and has made her think about some things and how she wants to live her life moving forward, and the people that she's surrounding herself with. And of course, this experience has attracted the attention of the government, specifically Carter Brody, and I really like his name. Carter has had a similar experience with this UFO, and he wants to obviously team up with Elle to see, you know, what they can figure out together. And Carter, up until this point, has been dealing with some childhood trauma, and he hasn't been living life to his fullest. Like, he has a 9-to-5 secret government job. It's kind of lackluster, and he hasn't really been confident or passionate. I don't know why my niece is screaming. He hasn't really been confident or passionate about like anything, you know? So meeting each other has, and having this experience in common has like really made them rethink some things. Well, this concludes my mini reading vlog with Love at First Sighting. Of course, stay tuned for my October reading wrap up, and I will let you guys know how it turns out. Until next time, stay safe, be blessed, and remain unapologetically you.